while I'm home, you guys get to meet my puppy. This is Gus. Okay. Hey guys, today I am back home for spring break and I wanted to share with you guys some of my favorite classic children's books to celebrate my time here at home and because I have them with me here. So what a better time, right? So we're going to start off with a pretty typical one, and it's The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. These are some of the first books I remember my mom reading to us as children, and honestly they play such a huge role in our family. I mean, can you tell like how beat up they are? I don't know if it's focusing, but it's pretty bad, and we don't even have the fourth book. I don't know where it went, but this box is, I don't know how this has lasted that long either, but great series. For those of you who don't know, this is basically the saga of a world from its creation to its destruction and our world's interactions with that world and the people who interact with it. It's a great kids book, kids read, but it's also really great in general. I'm taking a class with this as one of the assigned readings next semester, and I'm really excited because I don't actually have to read for it, but I might be able to reread it. I don't know. I'm just blabbering now. Alright. Okay, this is another book that I remember my mom reading to us as kids. It was also a movie that we watched a lot when we were children, and that is The Swiss Family Robinson by Johann David Weiss. This is a story about a family that was shipwrecked and had to learn to fend for themselves on this island. This was one of the first adventure books that I've read, and it still resonates with me. Like, the other day I was like, you know, why don't we just get in a shipwreck and then have to, spoiler alert, if you haven't read or seen it, build this giant awesome treehouse and then just live in it and live in the trees like this was Family Robinson. Wouldn't that be so cool? I would just love that so much. And also their family is just really cute and I love them, and yeah, okay. The next books I'm going to bring up are books that my mom recommended to me because they were books that she just adored as a child. This is The Little House books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. Again, for those of you who don't know, this series is following a girl and her family, but toward the end is mostly just the girl just growing up and living and moving from place to place and learning how to just live during the late 1800s. I used to have little books of this when I was a kid, just picture books, and so I didn't get around to reading it until the end of elementary school, but I had always wanted to. It took me a bit to get to that point where I could read them for myself, but once I was able to, I just loved them so much. In fact, this book, The Long Winter, was the first book I remember sitting around all day and reading consistently throughout the day. I think I finished it that day. It may have taken me 2 days total, but it was that good. Next is another little book. This is A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I grew up watching this movie as well as This Was Family Robinson, and it was honestly one of my favorite movies growing up, and so as soon as I was able to read this in late elementary school, I just fell in love with it. There are some differences that honestly make it better than the movie for me, even though I watched the movie first. For those of you who don't know, this is about a girl who goes to a girls' boarding school type thing when her father goes away to war, and then, spoiler, her dad dies, and she's demoted to a servant, and she has to find imaginative ways to just make that situation happy, which is something that I love about this book. The creativity and the imagination she has to keep hope alive is beautiful and really inspiring, to be honest. Next, our third little book. I don't know why I like titles that have the word little in them so much, but The Little Prince, written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This recently came out as a movie on Netflix, and so some of you may recognize it from that, if not from its original book. I read this in 7th grade, I think, and I really fell in love with it. It's a really short read. I should read it again because it is tiny and it has pictures, so I mean, why not? It would probably take me like 3 hours, right? This is the story of a little prince who leaves his planet and comes to Earth, and it's a great reminder to hold on to your childhood and not to let the kid inside of you die, which is very important to me because I have a tendency to be really anxious and very worried about life and the future, but just remembering to stay a kid sometimes is so important. I gained a renewed love for this because of Netflix, so thank you so much, Netflix, for making this movie. Next we have The Secret Garden. This is not the copy I read. I stole it from my sister's shelf. This is just an abridged child version. Also by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This one is about a girl whose family dies, and so she's sent to live with her uncle, and it's kind of just her learning to find joy and happiness where she's at and being kind to others. Which is, again, a great reminder. All these children's books, they know where it's at, man. I love this book. I did a project on it in 7th grade, and I would totally read it again if I could find it somewhere in my house. I don't know where it is, but if I could find it, I would totally read it again. I've been wanting to. But yeah, this was another movie that we grew up watching, and then I wasn't able to read until later. But again, one of the books that I just wanted to watch, or I just wanted to read so bad as a kid, and finally when I was able to, I fell in love with it. It's so good, you guys. So good. Finally is a book that I did not read until 8th grade. I read this because my teacher was like, Julia, have you ever read this book? And I said no. And she was like, well, you should, because the main character is you. I was like, what? How is it me? Like, you've only known me for like 4 months. How would you know that? And honestly, it is. The book is Anne of Green Gables, and it's a series by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Again, for those of you who don't know, this book is about a girl who's adopted and just the story of her growing up and maturing and falling in love and moving, and I just love living her life, which is weird because it's also my life. And the reason that I actually had to stop reading this series after like 4 books was because it was too much like my life. Which is weird to say, but I couldn't keep reading about things that I would do. It was just weird. So if you ever want to get to know me more, read Anne of Green Gables, because she's me. Literally, I love her, and she's life goals. I just wanted to film this video because sometimes it's really important in the midst of life to just remember what it's like to be a kid and to have that hope and to be full of life and learning how to live for yourself. I think that these books are really applicable, and reading these books probably would be really helpful to me now as a 20-year-old, almost 20-year-old, just because the books that I read now have a lot of drama, and I feel like it would just be a nice relaxation from all of that. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be back with another video for you guys later. Alright, bye!